Hi everyone, it's Evangeline here at etrailer, and today we're going to be taking a look at our Kuat NV 2.0 2-bike platform rack here on our 2019 Volvo XC60. So the Kuat NV is definitely a premium bike rack. If you have your nicer bikes, if you have your heavier bikes, if you have a step-through e-bike, this might be the bike rack for you just because of all of its features and all of its weight capacity add up to a really nice bike rack. So first we'll take a look at one of the features, which is that this can tilt away. To do so, you have this lever right over here. You're going to want to pull that lever and just drop this down to a tilt. And you'll want to tilt it away if you want to access your trunk. So as you can see here, if I can open the trunk, there it is. You can see how we actually have plenty of clearance between our door and our handlebars. I mean, we can get into there, maybe grab our waters, grab our bags real quick, grab our helmets, all without having to take the bike off. So for hanging racks, you have to go through the process of taking the bikes off, then tilting the bike rack away, then putting it back up, then putting the bikes back up. Here, as you can see, it's already back up and we're ready to hit the road just like that. So it's nice, it's convenient, and it saves you time. Now, the way our bike is mounted to this bike rack here is that we have a front wheel clamp here in the front. I really like bikes that have this design because if I had a carbon fiber frame bike up here, the traditional bike rack has a hook that comes down and could possibly warp or crack my frame. With this, no issue with that. Also, I have a women's bike right here. You notice how that frame dips down a little bit. Same for children's, same for step-through bikes. Sometimes with other bike racks, you still have to get a separate frame adapter bar. For here, no need for that either. Quick, easy, just like that, you're ready to go. Now here in the back, we have a rear wheel strap, and this is where you start when you want to take your bike off. So you press that lever and you pull up on that strap. I like to just leave it to the side so it doesn't get caught up in my spokes. Then I go over here to the front. Now for this step, please don't forget to hold on to your bike as you do so it doesn't tilt back. You press this button, lift this up, push this out, and if you do have your heavier bikes, I highly recommend getting the Kuat access ramp. That way you can just roll your bike down when you're ready to take it off. In our case, I don't have the ramp, so all you need to do is just lift this up, and then I am ready to go on a bike ride. So I'm just going to set this to the side so that we can take a closer look here at our bike rack. So here we have a tray style bike rack. So one is we have this wheel strap that can move back and forth to accommodate different wheelbases. The maximum wheelbase this can accommodate is up to 60 inches. You also have this strap with a nice little padding on the inside that's going to go over your wheel, help prevent scuff scratches, add a little traction, all that good stuff as it tightens down around it. Another thing that definitely shows how premium this bike rack is, you get an integrated cable lock on each tray. Nice heavy duty cable lock. It's all key to like. It's nice to know that all your bikes are secured, whether you have one or two bikes on. Coming over here to the front, we have our front wheel cradle. So we have these grooves inside this cradle, so whether you have a thinner road bike or a fatter fat bike, no issues there. One thing though is if you have more than one fat bike, you may have to pick up a fat bike adapter. Without the adapter, the maximum tire width for both bikes would be 3 inches. Now this is going to stow away to the side, so it's nice and neat. Speaking of nice and neat, please don't forget to put your straps back into your places, even with your bikes off. That way they're not flopping around as you drive around, and they last a little bit longer that way. Alright, so this has a weight capacity of 60 pounds per bike. So whether you have your lighter bikes or your heavier electric bikes, no worries at all. This does add a little bit of length to the back of your vehicle though. So we're going to take some measurements just to see exactly how much. So I'm going to measure from underneath, or from the end of our bumper to the end of our bike rack where that bike repair stand is, and it sits at almost exactly 32 inches of length added to our car. So whenever you're backing into your garage or trying to park into a really tight spot, please don't forget that you have a bike rack and bikes behind you, and that's the space you're going to have to accommodate for. Now, let's also take a look at ground clearance. Ground clearance is going to be underneath our tray to the ground. It will be 19.5 inches. Now over here underneath our shank to the ground, it sits at 11 inches of ground clearance. So whenever you go up steep inclines, like your driveways or your really steep hills, your front will go up, your back will go down. So it is nice to see how we have that much shank rise for our bikes. 11 inches of clearance at the hitch receiver is kind of on the lower end. So 19.5 or a quarter inches up here is pretty decent for most applications. Now, we'll take a look at another feature, which is that this folds up into a portable position. To bring it to the portable position, you pull this lever and you just fold that up against your car. Notice how with it folded up, you also have our bike repair stand. This pops out just like that. When you have an accident on the trail, you need to repair your bike real quick. This makes it a lot more convenient and easy to do so. Okay, we'll take some measurements with it folded up just to see the difference it makes. Measuring from our bumper to the end of the tray, it sits at 8 inches. Now it does stick out further where the anti-rattle knob is, and that's 13 inches away from our bumper. Closest point is going to be from the bumper to that front wheel clamp, and we have about 3 3/4 inches of space or clearance between the two. No issues at all about this accidentally making contact with your car. With it folded up, as we noticed, there is full visibility through our rear window. Our taillights are not covered at all, even the inner ones. And our backup camera sits offset to the passenger side right over here. So it sticks out right over there, meaning you're going to get a good, almost all visibility through your backup camera. Your license plate is slightly covered though by this bike rack folded up. Not that big of an issue, but if you are concerned, you can just leave this bike rack down if you want visibility over portability. Also notice how this makes it convenient to just step on that lever as you hold your bike and bring this bike rack down. But anyways, let's talk about how this fits into our hitch. So this has a 2-inch shank, and we have it in our 2-inch hitch receiver that has a hitch pin and a lock. So that lock is keyed alike to the cable locks we talked about earlier at the end of each tray. So with just one key, you get to access the whole system. You don't have to get 3 separate keys for that. And it's also tool-free install. So you just pop it into your hitch and you don't have to deal with sockets. You don't have to deal with wrenches. You just use this knob right over here. And I do recommend shaking your bike rack a little bit as you do so, just to get the most of that ball cam that creates an anti-rattle effect. So we're gonna do a little shake test right over here. So as I shake the bike rack, just to simulate the movement of the road, you can see how it really isn't going anywhere. The vehicle is moving a little bit more, showing that you will get rattle, you will get shake on the road, but that's from the speed bumps, that's from the gravel. It's not from an improper fit between our bike rack and our vehicle. That's nice and secure, making for a smoother ride for your bikes overall. So my final thoughts about the Kuat NV bike rack is I really do like that weight capacity. This also comes in different colors. So what I have here is the gray version with orange accents, but it also comes in metallic black. If you want the base version that does not have this bike repair stand, that's matte black. Depending on the look you're going for, you do have options there. It works really well. I do like how it tilts away if I want to access my hatch. We also have a 4-bike version of this, so this can be expanded to carry 4 bikes. If you fill up your XC60 with all your friends, all your families, and you want to go for a bike ride, this might be a really good option for you. So that was a look here at the Kuat NV 2.0 2-bike rack on our 2019 Volvo XC60.